Hello and welcome back to episode 9 of the Alpine F1 Manager Career Mode. We are back today following the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we've put ourselves in a good position for this weekend. We're 4th in the championship, as you can see. We have dropped off Mercedes a little bit because we had a disaster in Azerbaijan. One which I will not be repeating. We're not having it happen again. I refuse. As usual here, we're going to get a car through to Q3. I probably think we can get both cars through to Q3, but we're not going to push our luck. I believe, here we are, we have got our new chassis in place for both cars now. We also have some new side pods being developed, and our chassis, there will be 2 more coming through soon. Just having a look at where we sit compared to other teams, we can see one of our main problems is our low speed. So that is going to be our next thing. We're going to go after front wing. We're going to go and get a new front wing. However, we need to wait another 10 days before we can start that process because we've got no remaining hours left in this section of time. So we're going to leave it there for now. However, new car development is on the way as soon as we get to that next 10 days. Having a look at the calendar, that does give us a bit of time as well to develop anything that we need. So hopefully we can get something in place. It probably won't be for like Britain, but maybe Austria or a push. If we can't get for Austria, it should definitely be in place by the time we get to France. Out of quick little bit of interest, our current project of the side pods should be in place within 7 days, so it might just miss out being at the next Grand Prix, unfortunately.
Formula One is back in Montreal. Let's hope it's not going to be Groundhog Day. The local rodents have disrupted more than one race day here in the past. The Canadian Grand Prix is ready to kick off, and the only drama on the tracks we want to see is the best drivers in the world battling it out for a place on that podium. Gilles Villeneuve is a quick, free-flowing circuit in parts, with a stop-start aspect thrown in for good measure around the chicanes and hairpin bends. Medium-speed downforce will play a large part in avoiding the wall of champions and ensuring success at this iconic track. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. What will happen this weekend? Only time will tell.
Doesn't look like we're expecting any rain this weekend. What I am going to throw in, I have been doing an offline save as well, because obviously I don't get a chance to record every time. I just want to play the game. So I've been playing with Haas. I'm going to insert a clip just here of a crash that happened in my career mode on there. It wasn't involving my cars, but there was like 4, maybe 5 cars involved. It's only a short clip, but I'll throw it in here. That is the most ridiculous crash I've seen on this game so far. Hopefully, we're not going to get a repeat of that. Or if we do, it's not going to be involving our cars. The most important thing this weekend is making sure we have the correct amount of fuel in the car. Let's get into the race weekend and see what we can come out with after practice. We'll see you ahead of qualifying. So we are back after practice 1, 2 and 3. In practice 1, we saw Piastri and Ocon in 16th and 19th. Practice 2, Alonso 13th, Ocon in 17th. And practice 3, Alonso 16th, Ocon in 19th. As we can see here, Carlos Sainz and Kevin Magnussen both have grid penalties. We don't know the extent of those, and I'm not aware that there's a way for us to know the extent of those, unfortunately. So we're going to head into qualifying now. We have got 95% confidence for Fernando Alonso, and we have got 97% confidence for Ocon. And let's just try that. We'll just try one notch. See if we can get it to 100% or a little bit closer. In practice, we have been running worn car parts as well. So we are going to install fresh parts onto the cars as well. Mostly fresh parts, I should say, as we head into qualifying. So hopefully those times that we've seen in practice won't be representative of what we actually do when we head into qualifying. I'm just making sure that we've got all our best car parts installed on both cars as well, which we have. We'll head into qualifying. I'll see you either at the end of Q1 or the end of Q2, depending on when things start to get interesting. So Q1, we're through easily 7th and 9th. We only did the one run because I think prior to the second run at the end of the session, we had P4 and P6, I think it was. We were very high up the table, so I didn't feel it was necessary. Through to Q2 we go. And as you can see in Q2, we are looking a lot more sketchy. I think both cars caught a bit of traffic on their flying lap, unfortunately. So Ocon is 13th. You can tell Ocon definitely caught some traffic being that far off the pace. That's not like Ocon at all. And let's watch for their timing screen. So they're both green in Sector 1. I think that may have been where they caught their traffic as well. And through Sector 2, we're going to have Alonso going green. And Ocon is going to join him going green. So we've got an Aston Martin just crossing the line now. Vettel went out very early and has slightly improved his time, but not enough that it's taken him any further away from the danger zone. Alonso down the straight is going to cross the line, puts himself up into 7th. Ocon crosses the line, needs a good time, and puts himself 10th. Tsunoda and Mick cross the line, and just about Ocon is through to Q3. That was a little bit closer than we would have liked. So we are going to go with Alonso on a soft to hard strategy, and Ocon is going to go with an aggressive 2-stop. The idea being we can always adjust this. If we can make that first stint just a little bit longer than the second stint, we can potentially catch a late safety car, and it could fall perfectly in our favour if we can do so. So let's head to the race and see how this comes off.
It's bright and sunny as the drivers line up on the grid. Looking here at Fernando Alonso. Not as close to the front as they might have wished for, but we know the race order can change a lot during those first few corners. Further back, we've got Esteban Ocon. They might not be in the top 3 spots, but things could change fast once the race gets underway. Will their hard work pay off today? The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
And as usual, I forgot to do this prior to us getting into the race start, so we're going to do it now. And let's just focus on Verstappen and Leclerc into turn 1. What will happen here? It's easy for Verstappen. Perez is going to get Leclerc as well, potentially. He doesn't. Let's jump now on board with Alonso, who's fell behind Gasly. Ocon's moved up 2 places already. Fantastic start for him. And Alonso has gone past Gasly now as well. And he's going to be put in penalty. Ocon gains 3 positions off the start. Just straight up the inside of them. Phenomenal work from Esteban Ocon there. And Alonso also having a fantastic start, putting pressure on Lewis Hamilton. I don't think our car is that far off being able to battle with the Mercedes. And although, yes, in this occasion we're on the softs, where they're on the mediums, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm guessing those top 4 cars are probably going medium to hards. We've got yellow flags in Sector 1. It doesn't appear to be any of us. It was a Latifi lockup. We're not really that bothered. But we'll let Alonso put some pressure on Hamilton and see how this plays off. Hopefully, we might be able to push him past Hamilton and into a battle with the top 3. Or even if we can just isolate Hamilton from them, I think we can probably have him. But we'll let this race play out, and we'll keep an eye on it. And Alonso has overtaken Lewis Hamilton. Let's have a quick look at the replay. I think it was just down the straight. Down the straight slash into turn 1 and 2. Very, very nice overtake. Now, get on the back of Sergio Perez. He's past Perez? I'm telling him to get on the back of Sergio Perez. He's already gone past him. Alonso, currently, sat third. Let's tell him to attack. Tell him to push. Let's see if he can create a gap. I doubt it, but you never know. Also, can we talk about Ocon's apparently 12 laps? What? Ocon's now past Magnussen, so he's kind of into the chasing pack, going after the group that Alonso's with now. And if we can get Ocon into that group as well, then it can only benefit us, really, if we've got 2 cars versus 2 cars from different teams. So at the moment, we've kind of got Alonso. He's just gone and set the fastest lap. He's kind of exchanging places with Perez and occasionally Hamilton. Ocon not far behind them here either. He's still attacking, and hopefully he'll be able to get himself involved in this battle. Still 3.4 seconds away, so at the moment it doesn't seem overly likely. But if we can get Alonso just pushing a little bit more, we might be able to get him up towards Leclerc and Verstappen. And if you can latch onto the back of them, not even necessarily challenge them for position, just sit behind them in their DRS, he could have a massive part to play in our chances in this race. He's now sat behind Leclerc. I honestly don't want us to attack him. I just want us to use his slipstream and wait. I wish, that's one thing I do wish this game had, would be an option for us to say to our drivers, like, don't fight the guy in front, or like just use his slipstream. Something along those lines, so that we're not having to go for the attack all the time, because it is a very viable strategy a lot of the time, but we can only really do it between teammates at the moment. Let's have a quick look. I mean, Hamilton's still behind Alonso, but if we can stick with Leclerc, that means Hamilton is going to struggle to get us. However, Alonso's gone past Leclerc. Alonso's not interested in sitting behind him. He wants Verstappen. Let's put him on push. Let's let it happen. Let's see if Alonso can push for a race win. Why not? So at the moment, Alonso and Leclerc are kind of exchanging positions. We've got a crash on track. I can't spot any of the cars off the track. Let's have a little look down the order. See if we can spot where this crash is. No, that's... I thought he looked a little bit odd, but it appears to be fine. I don't know what the crash is. It might be Latifi. We'll jump back on board, and any moment now we're going to have it pop up. I mean, Alonso's just overtook Leclerc under yellow flag conditions. It was Magnussen who crashed on turn 3. So he's being chased down by Carlos Sainz. I mean, ow. Ow. I'm surprised he's been able to carry on from that. And he's only dropped to 10th. Well, very impressive from Magnussen there. Alonso is gearing up towards his pit stop window. We want to be careful not to get undercut in this. Although, having a look here, we're the only ones on softs. So I don't see that we can get undercut. We might even try and make them last a little bit longer so that our hards are a bit more level with where theirs are. Let's have a quick look at his tyres. We're going to have to tell him to go balanced. But I think if we can time this right, don't get me wrong, I think a race wins a bit far. This is the optimal lap. His tyres are 38% worn. I think this is the time to go for it.
Okay, we're boxing this lap.
Okay, copy, box.
And Ocon is also into his pit window. He's having a lovely time. He's just chilling around by himself. Not really got anyone to compete with at the moment. And here comes Alonso into the pit stop. We need this to be absolutely perfect for him. In he comes. Tyres are off. Tyres are on. 2.6 seconds. That's a very good pit stop. And out comes Alonso. Is he going to come out behind Bottas? He is. That is not a bad position for us to be in, though. We've kept Sainz behind. If we can get Ocon nice and quickly, he'll have open air to push into. And it looks like we may well be able to get Bottas pretty quickly. Down the straight, perhaps? Are we just going to go and get him straight away? Indeed we are. Nice and easy for Alonso. Just having a quick look. There's no expected rain. And now Alonso's got the open air to push into and try and make an impact in this race. We're now going to pit Ocon as well to get him in on this next lap.
Box this lap. Box, 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 box.
I think realistically, as long as nothing goes horribly wrong, Ocon should be absolutely fine to be getting 2.8 seconds for his pit stop. He should be relatively locked in for 5th place, I would say. And again, he's going to come out just behind Bottas. Ahead of Sainz. This is exactly where we want him. Now it comes down to what happens when Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez and Hamilton pit. And we've got the first two in. Alonso's coming down into the main straight. And Alonso's going to be alongside Hamilton as he comes out the pit. No, he's ahead of him. Verstappen's a bit further up the road. But he has taken Lewis Hamilton. And also, the laps, the tyres aren't that much different. There's not a lot of difference in their tyres at all. I assume Perez and Leclerc are now in as well. And here comes Alonso. There goes Perez. Here comes Leclerc. He is behind Alonso. So Alonso comes out of the pit stop in 3rd place. It'll be very interesting to see how that develops throughout the rest of the race. Ocon's still got to make one more pit stop. But at the moment, Alonso is putting pressure on Sergio Perez. And hopefully, if they can work together, which is a big ask, they might be able to pull themselves away from Hamilton and Leclerc, which would be absolutely perfect for us. And if we could then, this is a big ask, if we could get a safety car for around 14 laps time, we could go and pull an even bigger madness out of the hat. With Ocon, he's currently, I mean, he's challenging Hamilton now. Let's jump on board with him. Esteban Ocon, all over the back of Lewis Hamilton.
Okay, so no lift and coast.
Let's tell him to go and get him.
Copy.
Let's see if... I think down this next straight, he's definitely going to have Hamilton here. Go on. Go on, you've got him all day long. How are you not overtaking him? Doesn't manage to get him down the straight. Down the next one. Into the corner. He's took him. Esteban Ocon has just overtaken Lewis Hamilton. Alonso's behind Leclerc and Perez now. I mean, if we're being honest, it would have been nice for them to have knocked each other out of the race, wouldn't it? Not to be at the moment. But as it stands, 4th and 5th would be a huge result. And Alonso has just gone past Leclerc. Ocon's gone and got fastest lap and put himself on the back of Leclerc. We are in a very good position. If we can get, like, either a safety car or a VSC at the right time for Ocon, we could end up in a situation where Ocon doesn't even necessarily lose out much in the battle for these positions. There was a yellow flag, but nothing comes of it, unfortunately. That's what we're really hoping for now. It could fall perfectly in our favour if that can happen. It's Ocon who's in second. Ocon has gone through into second place. Oh, how I wish you didn't have to make another pit stop. Admittedly, if it wasn't for this aggressive two-stop, I don't think he'd be battling for second. But it doesn't change the fact that I really wish he could just go through to the end on these tyres. There's a good chance at this point of the race here. There's every chance we could find ourselves on the podium. And what a result that would be if we can pull it off. If Verstappen wants to crash out of the race, I'm not telling him to. If he wants to crash out, we could be on for a double podium. We're going to try and get Alonso just to conserve his tyres a little bit, in hopes that he can, if we put him on push as well, maybe he can stay in touch, but also preserve his tyres that little bit so that they're kind of at the same level as everyone else's. We are into the pit window for Ocon now. If anybody wants to cause a safety car, now's the time to do it, guys. As long as it's not Alonso. I'll add that caveat in. Ocon now loses out to Leclerc at the moment. Can he get him back? Not at the moment. We're going to pit him. We've got the 94% tyres. And he's just gone past the pit lane. He's gone back past Leclerc at the moment, though. Perez has took Alonso, as has Hamilton. We're going to have to tell him to get back to aggressive, I think.
Start pushing.
And here comes Esteban Ocon for his final pit stop. He's definitely coming out ahead of Carlos Sainz. We know that much. Can we get a little bit of luck? And if he can get aggressive, 2.6 seconds, it's a good pit stop. I am concerned that he's not going to be able to get himself back in the mix. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Meanwhile, Alonso is going to be in the mix. Let's tell him to deploy. See if he can get back into this battle. Perez is going past Hamilton. And Alonso down the main straight is going to go past him as well. This could get very, very juicy towards the end of this race. The big news right now, Alonso and Perez are battling for third place. And Leclerc is only just ahead of them. Ocon is quite a bit back, unfortunately. I think Ocon's probably going to end up 6th. Unless, I mean, a safety car could be huge at any time. Unfortunately, at the moment, Alonso's dropped off Leclerc and Perez. I think that might be just a little bit of the Red Bull and Ferrari showing their true prowess. Can we talk about George Russell's down in 12th here? Alonso's overtook Hamilton. No, the other way around, but Alonso's got him back. And at the moment, it's looking very likely we end up with 4th and 6th in the Canadian Grand Prix, which would be a...
Perez off.
Perez is off.
Okay.
Perez is in the wall.
Yellow flag, yellow flag.
Oh my goodness. So Perez comes down the straight. It's nothing to Leclerc's nowhere near him. Oh, that's a nice invisible wall. Invisible wall has put Alonso on the podium. Ocon is now 5th. This is going to be a huge 10 laps for Alpine. Perez is at to pit. That basically secures Ocon is not finishing lower than 5th. Can we get on the podium? We've got another yellow flag in Sector 1. Nothing comes of it. It was Gasly spinning out. But Alonso and Hamilton, I mean, Ocon, the gap is closing. Let's tell him to push. Let's tell him to deploy. The gap is closing for Ocon. Alonso and Hamilton are kind of battling so much. Ocon, there's a good chance for Ocon here. Who's this? Oh, it's Hamilton. There's a good chance here. I'm almost tempted to tell Alonso not to fight him, because I feel like Ocon
Copy.
could go for a dive down the inside of Hamilton here. Go on. Ah, he's battled it, but not able to hold on. Tell you what, Alonso. Ah, I'm so tempted. It could guarantee Ocon a place on the podium if we do. But also Alonso's done so well. We're not going to... No team orders here at Alpine. We're going to tell Alonso to deploy. Hamilton's having to defend from Ocon. Go on. Go on, Ocon. He's not able to get at him yet. My worry is I'm looking at Alonso's tyres. That could be problematic very soon. I'm going to have to step in. If they cost each other down the straight. No, Ocon is alongside Lewis Hamilton. Why have you backed out of it? Because he wanted DRS here, that's all. And Alonso's going to come up and he's going to have a go as well. Can he get him? Not at the moment. 2 laps to go. Ocon is on the podium and Alonso is definitely battling for it. I know the tyres are starting to be worn, Alonso, but quite frankly, this ain't the time to box. What? No, no, we don't. We need you to stay out and do your job. Yellow flag in Sector 3. What's gone on? We don't know. We don't care. Esteban Ocon needs this Williams to get out the way. He does so. Does he? He didn't get out of Hamilton's way. He stayed in Hamilton's way that little bit longer. Oh, but he's done the same to Alonso. Ocon is so close to a podium finish. Please, please don't let this disappear. Last lap. Ocon defending towards turn 1. Oh no. Right, as soon as we get on that next straight, we're going to have to go overtake. We need these cars to get out of the way. Oh my goodness. So much traffic. No! Go, overtake. They've just cost Ocon the race. Not the race. They've... Oh no. Don't get me wrong, P4 and P5 is fantastic. Ocon's got fastest lap.
Good job, guys.
But the car that I think it was Magnussen. It's got to have been Magnussen. Has cost
That was
Ocon.
Yeah, well done.
Ah,
It was a good weekend.
that is absolutely devastating. Ocon would have been on the podium if that car hadn't been there. Absolute devastation for Alpine. And that's the worst thing, is we've done so well. 4th and 5th is absolutely amazing. Ocon moved up 6 places to 2-stop. Aggressive 2-stop worked perfectly for him. Alonso was doing phenomenally well. And all it took was that one car to get in our way. That is absolutely devastating. Alonso moves up to 6th in the Drivers' Championship. Ocon up to 7th. But what could have been? In the Constructors' Championship, we gain points on Mercedes. We're now exactly 20 points behind them. We're almost locked into 4th, given that Alfa Romeo are nowhere near as 50 points now. A fantastic weekend for Alpine, but so close to an even better weekend for Alpine. So after a devastatingly close chance of the podium, it's Silverstone that's next. Hopefully we can get these new side pods on in time. We're going to have our final chassis part completed, and we are 7 days away from being able to start designing new car parts again. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Leave some hate for Magnussen down in the comments. Not only this, in my offline save with Haas that I showed earlier in this video, at Belgium, it was raining. I had Magnussen go long on hards until the rain started, which resulted in him leading the Grand Prix, and then he put it in a wall. I am not the biggest fan of Magnussen today. Quite frankly, I'm not a fan of him. If you've enjoyed that, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.